this is great to be with you, Mary. I'm thrilled to be back in the American heartland with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. You are unbelievable. You built this country. You built this country. Remember that. 5 months from now, the people of your great state are going to vote to fire the radical left Democrats. You are going to send Ultra MAGA, she's Ultra MAGA, they gave us a great name, Congresswoman Mary Miller to fight for you in Washington. She's great. You're going to elect an incredible slate of rock-solid, courageous conservatives up and down the ballot. And together we are going to end Nancy Pelosi. She's crazy. We're going to end her political career once and for all. Looks like it's coming to an end. It better come to an end. She's been so bad for our country. So before we begin, we've got some very big news, don't we? We have very big news. Maybe the biggest, right from the United States Supreme Court. Yesterday, the court handed down a victory for the Constitution, a victory for the rule of law, and above all, a victory for life. This breakthrough is the answer to the prayers of millions and millions of people, and these prayers have gone on for decades. For decades and decades they've been praying, and now those prayers have been answered to the generations of Americans in the pro-life movement, as well as countless constitutional conservatives. Your boundless love, sacrifice, and devotion has finally been rewarded in full. Congratulations, and great time. As a candidate in 2016, do you remember that? We did better the second time, but let's not say that. Did a lot better the second time. We did a lot better in 2020. I promised to nominate judges and justices who would stand up for the original meaning of the Constitution and who would honestly and faithfully interpret the law as written. We got almost 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices confirmed to do exactly that. And thanks to the courage found within the United States Supreme Court, this long divisive issue will be decided by the states and by the American people. That's the way it should have been many, many years ago, and that's the way it is now. So congratulations. As for the Republican Party, we are today the party of life, and we are the party of everyone. We're the party of everyone. Thank you very much. We believe that every precious child is born and unborn is the sacred gift from God. We also had a great victory in the United States Supreme Court 2 days ago for supporters of a thing called the Second Amendment. Has anyone ever heard of the Second Amendment? I told you when I started my campaign that I will protect the Second Amendment, and nobody has protected it like me. And I especially want to commend the justices for standing strong in the face of outrageous threats and even violence. You've been seeing what's been going on. There's never been a time like this. The left-wing campaign of terror directed at the Supreme Court in recent months is unlike anything in the history of our country. The attempted assassination of Justice Kavanaugh, the illegal intimidation of justices' homes, and the radical left's violent terrorist attacks on pro-life centers were a frontal assault on our republic. That's what they should be investigating. This was an organized and concentrated effort to threaten the court and interfere with its decisions. But the justices stood their ground against these extremists and these terrorists, and they did not back down. Congratulations and thank you. To this day, the leaders of the Democrat Party have failed to forcefully condemn the violence and threats and hold the perpetrators accountable. There could be no greater illustration of the two-tiered system of justice. We've never had anything like what's going on right now that we have in our country than the fact that at the very moment the radical Democrats were staging a ridiculous fake trial over January 6th, their party leaders are saying nothing about the violent intimidation of the United States Supreme Court. They refuse to talk about it. They refuse to do anything. As you have seen, the vile group of unhinged partisans and craven lunatics on the Unselect Committee are pushing a fake and fabricated narrative based on doctored video, lies, and testimony that is totally uncontested by cross-examination. The lies are unbelievable. It's a disgrace to our country. A bunch of rhinos get up. They're going to make their name big for a day. Everything they're showing is ripped utterly out of context, such as when Liz Cheney, a real loser she is, cut out the part of my quote in a speech that I made, a certain speech, that said that their voices should be heard peacefully and patriotically. She left those words out. Would you say that's nice? She left them out. It's a sham. Think of that. She left out the words peacefully and patriotically. And why didn't Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C., accept my offer on January 3rd, 3 days before, of 10,000 soldiers or National Guard or more to protect the Capitol? You know, they are in charge of security, and they said, she's off bounds, we don't ask her any questions. If they had sent those soldiers, even if they had sent 1,000, not 10,000 or 20,000, January 6th would not be January 6th as we know it. But they won't talk about it. They refuse to mention that, and it's all just a continuation of the fake Russia scam, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, and the fake Mueller investigation. You remember, after 2.5 years, no collusion. We found no collusion. 18 angry Democrats, all prosecutors, they found no collusion. 2.5 years. The Russia hoax was the greatest in history. There's never been anything like it in the history of our country, where they totally fabricated and made up stories that didn't exist. They spied on my campaign. They got caught. Even Adam Shifty Schiff made up lies about Congressman Jim Jordan, who's a great person and a great political leader, and others, and totally fabricated a partnership with the fake news media on my absolutely perfect, it was a perfect phone call with the Secretary of State of Georgia. He fabricated what I said. When the critics like to say my administration, despite all of our incredible accomplishments, and we've added some big ones last week, was somewhat chaotic. They love to say that. They don't tell you that we were under fake investigations for long before I got into the Oval Office. They started even before I won. These investigations were fake. And they said, just in case, we're going to start them. They used it for the election. And when we won the election, they said, let's carry it forward. Russia, total hoax. So we had to beat the investigations and at the same time rebuild our country. And just think of it, with all that was going on, including the hatred and venom and falsified statements and facts, we had one of the most successful presidencies in history, including an economy that was the envy of the world. Thank you. Thank you. It's always got to have a little chaos when you're getting served subpoenas all the time. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The Unselect Committee, do you like that name? The Unselect. I came up with that one. Of course, every time I say that, they say, no, actually, and 100 years ago, somebody else came up with that term. No, I think I came up with it. And fake news is another one, right? That was a good one. That's not strong enough, though. It's more than fake news. It's corrupt news. The Unselect Committee of Political Thugs is vivid proof that as we work to defeat the radical left, we also have to defeat the backstabbers and the dreadful rhinos like Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, another beauty. And these rhinos are in many ways worse than the Democrats because you don't really know where they're coming from. You know, you don't know where they're coming from. Kinzinger, by the way, is out. He quit. Almost all of the impeachers are gone. You know the 10 impeachers? We won a big one the other day. He got slaughtered. Name is Rice from South Carolina. He was out. He was out. He's gone. He's gone. He said, I had no idea that when I voted for impeachment, I was committing political suicide. Never forget, everything this corrupt establishment is doing to me is all about preserving their power and control over the American people. If I renounced my beliefs, which I won't do, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed at home, if I said that a corrupt election was wonderful, the persecution would stop immediately. They'd say, good luck, let's go on to the next victim. But I can't do that because I love our country far, far too much. And remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you, and they're coming after you. Believe me, they're coming up for you. They're coming after you. There's only one true America First Republican in the race for the 15th district, and that's an incredible woman, somebody I've gotten to know very well. She's been with me from day one. No bad back statements, you know, saying bad things about me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago. Her name is Mary Miller. High-quality person. Mary is a warrior for our movement and our values. She comes from a farming family, a beautiful family in downstate Illinois. She's a mom of 7, I can't even believe that, and a loving grandmother to 19 beautiful grandkids. Mary is pro-life and extremely happy about 2 days ago. She's pro-gun, so that makes her even happier. She's pro-police. She will not be defunding, I promise, the police. They want to defund the police. You know, they're trying to get off that, but they want to defund the police. Pro-American energy, and she's pro-MAGA all the way. As an incredible representative for Illinois in Congress, Mary has fought tirelessly against Joe Biden's woke Department of Education, what they're doing to education, and demanded that they stop indoctrinating America's youth. With Mary, you get to elect a fearless America First patriot. That's what she is. She's about America First. She got it from the first moment she heard those beautiful words, America First. I wonder who thought up those words. No, you don't hear about it because nobody thinks that way. Nobody thinks about America first. We're America last. You look at Biden, we're America last, okay? If you want to send a message to Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, crazy Nancy Pelosi, and the fake news media, then this Tuesday you need to cast your vote for a truly wonderful person, Mary Miller, respected by everybody. Mary, come on up. Come on up.
Thank you so much, President Trump. It's such an honor to be able to welcome you to God's country. I'm in front of this massive crowd that loves you. I'm so honored to have your endorsement. President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday. Our victories for life and the Second Amendment would never have been possible if the never Trump rhinos had gotten their way. I'm running against a rhino named Rodney Davis who betrayed conservatives. He betrayed us by voting against President Trump in 2016. Rodney Davis betrayed us by supporting red flag gun confiscation and voting for the disgraceful January 6th Witch Hunt Commission. My friends, this race is between MAGA and a rhino establishment member. Don't you miss President Trump? We miss energy independence. As a farmer, those $6 a gallon diesel bills are painful. We miss border security. Friends, to save America, we need to elect America First conservatives to Congress, and then we need to get that weak and incompetent man out of the Oval Office and get President Trump back. I'm Congresswoman Mary Miller. I'm a proud Trump Republican, and I'm asking for your vote on this Tuesday, June 28th. Thank you, President Trump. God bless you.
Great job. Thanks, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, go out and vote for Mary. You'll never be disappointed with Mary. She doesn't disappoint people, and she loves you very much. Also with us this evening is the next governor of the great state of Illinois, Darren Bailey. Darren is just the man to take on and defeat one of the worst governors in America, J.B. Pritzker. He's one of the worst. I had to deal with this guy for a long time on COVID. He was as bad as anybody there is. He did a horrible job. He locked everybody in and locked them up. He was a disaster. His numbers are terrible. Everybody's fleeing your state. Okay, this is a disaster, and Darren is the opposite. But Darren did one thing that was very bad today. Should I tell him? So we're taking pictures, right? Do you know what I'm going to say, Darren? We're taking pictures backstage. And I wanted to say hello because I'm hearing Darren's really doing a job. And we're standing up, and I'm shaking his hand. He said, "Sir, you have a hair coming down right in the middle." It was coming down. He said, "Here, let me get it, sir." And he grabbed it and ripped it out. I said, "No, that's terrible. That was terrible. I'm still looking for that hair." He just ripped it out, which tells you a lot about Darren. There's no games, right? There's no game. Somebody else would have patted it gently back. He ripped it out. That's going to go down. That's going to be one I remember. We're still searching for that hair in the back. Darren is a farmer, and he's a fighter, and he has been an outstanding warrior, and the Illinois State Senate, where he's totally, totally respected by all of them. He wants to cut your taxes. He wants to lower your regulations down to among the lowest in the country and make Illinois competitive again, because it is not competitive at all. Darren is a fearless supporter of the Second Amendment and a tireless champion of religious liberty. He will crack down on the violent crime that is devouring our Democrat-run cities and restore the state of Illinois to greatness. Darren has my complete and total endorsement. Darren, come on up. Come on. Go get him. Go get him.
Who's ready to save America? Who's ready to save Illinois? Who's ready to support a president that's going to take this all back for us? I'm glad President Trump told the story about his loose hair, because here's the deal. I will not lie to anyone, and I will not let anything go unnoticed. And when I see it, I will name it. And when we name it, we will fix it. And we have our work cut out for us here in Illinois, friends. I've made a promise to President Trump that in 2024, Illinois will roll the red carpet out for him, because Illinois will be ready for President Trump. God bless Adams County. God bless you. God bless the state of Illinois. God bless President Trump, and God bless America. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. I think he's going to do it. I dealt with this guy, Pritzker, and I'm telling you, it's so bad, so pathetic. So pathetic. He's got money, and that's about it. Got other things, too. They're not good. So good luck, Darren. Go do it. That'll be a big one. That's going to be watched. That's going to be watched. It's going to be a race, and you see what's happening. So I think you're going to win the primary very big, and I think you're going to go on and win the election. So we're going to be with you all the way. And Mary, you're going to go win that election. You're going to win the primary. You're going to win the election. We're also grateful to be joined by a very special person, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Thank you, Lauren. And a man who's a true patriot. His name is Mike Lindell. Mike, thank you. Thank you, Mike. True patriot. With the help of many of the patriots with us this evening, over 4 incredible years, we achieved more than perhaps any administration in history. We did it despite all of the things that were done to us. Compare how great America was just 2 years ago with the way it is today. Today, it's not doing too good. There was no inflation. The war with Russia going into Ukraine would never have happened, ever. Never would have happened. And it didn't happen, did it? We had $1.87 per gallon gasoline. We had energy independence, and very soon we were going to be dominant with energy. We were going to be bigger than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined by a lot. We were leaving Afghanistan with dignity and strength, not surrender and death. We had a completely rebuilt military with the addition of something that hasn't been done in 78 years. That's the addition of Space Force. Not since Air Force has this happened. So we had Air Force 78 years ago, and now we have Space Force, and it's going to be very important. We had the biggest tax cuts and the biggest nation cuts ever in the history of our country. We had job numbers of 164 million people working. That's far more than we do today. You know, you read about these phony numbers about unemployment. That's because people aren't looking for jobs, so they bring them way down. We had 164 million people working. You don't have anywhere close to that today. Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of our country. He's turning out to be a combination of Jimmy Carter and Herbert Hoover. That's what's happening.